Hi everybody, this is Ginger and this is Ginger's Chat Show, and I hope everybody is well. I don't know why comments are not popping up again. They're having problems with that. Let me double check something here for 1 minute. Okay, it'll pop back on. There we go. Hi Nancy! Okay, anyway, it's Friday, TGIF. Of course, it's been antics all this week by the GOP and everything else. And, I just wish they'd just grow up. I really do. Um, hey, Dorothy. Okay, I'm going to make a couple announcements here. Nancy, so you will know, since you were my only customer, I wish I had more, but I don't. I shut down Ginger's Store More. I could not afford their online subscription. The cost of advertising was gone up for that store. So I'm going to a smaller scale. I'm going to Ginger's Headline Store, and I'm going to be just doing printable and printified, in other words, designed products, like mugs, blankets, things like that. And I'll be designing those, and I will be putting them in my store and doing it that way. And also putting in my Ginger's Chat Show brand on there too as well. I'm going to a smaller scale, and it's much cheaper than the general store, so I'm just shutting it down. I have an option of reopening it if it's feasible and redoing it. Right now, I'm not very happy with the way Design Slick has did my storefront because it's not very user friendly, and that was the other part of the frustration. And for some reason, I couldn't get any when I was doing my products or like selling gift cards, things like that. Um, it for whatever reason it wouldn't let me. There were some issues with that. And also, I don't use PayPal anymore. PayPal, when I initially switched to business with PayPal, so people can buy products through my store, PayPal instantly turned around and shut me down. And I go, well, why? You didn't give a reason. And whoever owns PayPal needs to have his head examined. Uh, because I was doing it fine when I was individual. It was working fine, but they had a thing like that set up. But when I talked to Shopify, I told them the problem with PayPal, and they go, yeah, we know, we're having problems with them too. So they're looking at using other ways to pay, like Venmo and everything else, and not use PayPal. The Shopify also dropped Facebook. They no longer use Facebook, and I'm trying to get rid of my Facebook subscription, advertising subscription on that. I'm trying to get rid of that. But the only way for me to do it is either go through Rocket Money or go straight to Facebook and say no, it's gone. Okay. People are waking up and getting more and more fed up with some companies that are not concerned about the customers. They're more concerned about dollars, okay, and greed. And this has to stop. It really does. So what I'm trying to do, conduct my business. I don't like being trolled, and I don't like being, trolled basically and scammed. And I say, hey, I'm trying to provide a service, okay? Because people like unique things. They really do, okay? And there's not very many brick and mortar stores left that you could go in and get unique things, okay? Unique knickknacks that puts up a statement in your home, right? So, anyway. So Nancy, when I get my Ginger's Headline store up and running, go ahead and sign on to that. But I don't have it live yet. So I will let you know when I have it live. I'm still working on it. Okay? And this time I'm not going to use an expert to do it. I'll just figure it out myself. Okay, now, as you noticed this week, McCarthy's been ousted by the MAGA rats that seem to, they throw a hissy fit when somebody does a good thing, okay, does something right. And McCarthy was trying to do something right. And now he's considering, just prior to the end of his term, he's thinking of resigning from Congress and says no more. He's tired of the grade schoolyard antics and harassment. Gates now this is fun on Gates. He is in big doo-doo. He is in trouble. You know why? Because Gates has been going around on the House floor in the well showing various videos of him conducting sex acts with minor girls. He could get in trouble with that with the FBI, and he could be placed under arrest for no with a minor, okay? And he's being a pedophile. And he said not only that, this guy he's on Red Bull all the time, and he didn't know whether the guy gets any sleep. Okay, this other representative said, it's crazy. He told Gates, I don't want to see any of those. And I don't think it's funny. And a lot of the representatives in the House do not like Gates at all. They really dislike him, okay? Now, from what I understand, who is it, Jordan? Jordan is trying to get with the Main Street caucus in the House of Reps to get endorsement to get speaker. I don't know what Scalise is doing, but really they should pick somebody else. Okay, they should nominate McCook. Okay, McCook was really angry. He says that's why he slammed the block really hard. He was pissed. He says the MAGAs were not listening to anybody but themselves. Okay, and all they're concerned about is fame and getting 15 minutes fame on TV and everything else, when they should be focusing on doing the people's business. Okay? And I think now the ethics committee should kick out well over half of them. Kick out the MAGAs and get rid of the Freedom Caucus, shut it down, and hey Virginia, how are things in Boston? Hope the weather's good. It's a little windy here. So anyway, what? Meow. That's my cat Loki. He's talking to me. What? I'm doing my show. If you want to come up here and say hi, you're welcome. You want to come up here and say hi? No? Okay. I love you too. I have a cat that tells me what to do. So anyway, the election for a new speaker probably won't occur until next week. They decided the one representative, I didn't quite catch his name. He said it was a good thing that they decided not to try for the speaker the next day, because there would have been fist fights on the floor. Okay. Remember in January, earlier this year, when they were electing a new speaker? And, oh, that's right. Well, be sure to batten down the hatches, Jeannie. Yeah, spring and fall bring out some real nasty storms. Really does, because the weather is starting to change and seasons are starting to change, so things are a little unstable. But anyway, back to the GOP antics. But I think both Scalise and Jordan are very poor choices, and I think they should have somebody in there like McCook. Now, there were some of the MAGAs like Boebert and Green. Of course, Green got kicked out of the Freedom Caucus. Um, what? I can't help you there, Loki. Go lay down. Go take a nap. He's so funny. Anyway, sorry. Get back on track here. Um, they should have somebody else there. But anyway, they want some of the MAGA, the very extreme hard right, hardcore MAGAs in there. They want to have Trump as Speaker of the House. But there's one little catch. He is not a member of Congress, okay? You would have to be a member of Congress in order to and serve there for a while before you get to the status like, say, majority, assistant majority leader, or majority leader, assistant majority leader, or get up to the status of assistant House Speaker, that type of thing. Guy wouldn't learn the job, okay? And it takes, and Nancy Pelosi says it's a learning curve being a speaker. It really is. You have to learn all the House rules. You have to direct people and mentor people and, you know. Yeah, I know. I know. That's a big no-no. And Australia, the foreign national was a billionaire Australian. That's what it was. And he should be in prison for that. Because that's pretty much selling. That's pretty much selling secrets to me on that. So anyway, Trump's he like, no, I want to be president. Well, he's not really doing much in the way of campaigning right now. He's mostly spending time in the courtroom. And as of yesterday, he threw a hissy fit in the judge's face during the fraud trial, and the judge blew his cool. He had enough, and he had a right to be, you know, blowing his cool. He really does. And he had enough, and he slapped his hand on the bench, and he said, "You sit down and shut up. And I am now imposing a gag order." They should put a full-on gag order on all the cases that Trump was indicted for. They really should. And they should pull off the kid gloves, and to hell with Trump's followers. He had very few followers. There's maybe like, what, 10 or 12? And a lot of people realized that they got into them blindly following Trump got in trouble, and some of those that actually committed the crimes there at the Capitol during January 6th are now in prison because they broke the law, federal laws, and the laws were put there for a reason, and they're put in place for a reason. And anyway, Trump has now been ordered to well, yeah, and they need to do that too. They need to slap him for the 14th Amendment. You're right. Jenny, you're really right on that. And they should slap him for that. And there's a couple of states I understand right now that are dropping him from the ballot. Okay. There has now been two presidential debates on the Republican side. And Trump was not in either of them. He refused to attend them because he didn't like answering hard questions. Okay? The guy's a coward, he's a wimp. And he is now getting his due justice of breaking laws, federal laws, fraud, you name it, RICO Act charges, NSA document theft charges. The guy needs to be in prison. He really does. Anyway, he's been ordered to disgorge all his assets, and he's no longer able to do business in New York and will not be able to get a loan anywhere because of his actions. It's that plain and simple. And some of the accountants there that are supposed to be his accountants, they're not very smart. And most accountants I know are very, very professional. They keep up with everything, any changes and regulations or what's been, given away or what's been changed or adjusted or, And I don't know. It's really screwy. And people need to be more astute, if you will, of who they elected to be in Congress, Senate and Congress. In the Senate, we've been pretty lucky so far in the Senate. Okay. They're more adult. They are more adult than those in the not GOP, but in the House side. House side needs to really clean house. Period. Okay. Well, a lot of people are saying, well, the reason why they're not stepping on Trump very hard is because they're afraid of his followers. He has very few followers. He really does. And the last so-called rally he has, there were like fewer than 100 people there. I mean, it was really small crowd, really, really tiny, okay? And most said they went there, and Trump is getting so bad now cognitively that they just turned around and walked out, okay? So I think more and more people are waking up. A lot of people have dropped from the Republican Party, have quit the Republican Party, went either Democratic or went independent. Okay. A lot of the time, the independents will caucus with the Democrats. Okay. So, which is fine. They're happy with that. I'm happy for them. But before I go on to the next one, in my opinion on the speakership, there should be a non-MAGA as speaker. There should be either higher, between a liberal and moderate person being speaker and freeze out the MAGAs. Freeze out the Freedom Caucus. They already lost one member, okay? Yeah. I'm tired of that too, and I'm tired of him whining and crying and running away. And another thing too. I don't know if you guys heard about it. I don't know how many of you watch Midas Touch. Do you watch that program? Ben and Jordy and Brett Midas. Okay, Miss Alice. It's called Midas Touch. It's very, very liberal podcast, okay? And they're mainly made up of really good lawyers. A lot of them get experts in to explain to you how and what the law works and how the regulations work and everything when it comes to trials and laws, what they can and cannot do, that type of thing. And it's a good thing to learn. You know, it's a good thing to know, to have knowledge in that. Uh, Trump was trying to put, he filed sometime back in April, he filed a $500 million lawsuit. Yeah, I like it too, Jenny. I really like it too. But anyway, he filed a $500 million lawsuit against Michael Cohen because Michael Cohen testified against Trump in the fraud case. He did a disposition on there against him, and he also did a number of other cases for Jack Smith, who is a special prosecutor. And anyway, Trump was trying to get more money out of Cohen by imitating him, intimidation and things like that. Well, as of yesterday, Trump had voluntarily dropped the lawsuit without prejudice. Well, you know what? I think Michael Cohen should turn around and sue Trump for everything he has. Because he has harassed him, he has trolled him, and everything. It was totally uncalled for. Yeah, he was forced to drop the case. Okay? Also, Trump was forced to drop the case against this sitting judge at the fraud trial. Because he filed a lawsuit against the judge there during their trial there too. Yeah, I would do it too. You know, really slap him hard. Another thing too, I feel that Michael Cohen was unfairly prosecuted for what occurred, and he should get his law license back. He should get his livelihood back. And he said at that time, I was trying to find work. Okay. So all the other law firms that he wanted to get on, well, either filled up the capacity as far as employees go or whatever, and he did not have the money then to really start his own law firm. Okay. But I like to see Michael Cohen get $500 million tax free, and he could start his own law firm. Okay, and start helping people and providing a service. And Michael does not deserve how he was treated. Okay, and I think a lot of ways he was kind of slandered. Okay, at that time when Trump was in office, and whoever the previous AOG was, Attorney General, went after Michael. Okay, which was really uncalled for. Wasn't really necessary. Okay, and so. And Cohen says, well, you know, I lied to them. Well, that's because you were coerced into lying for Trump. And you should have told Trump, no, it's not going to happen. You should have stood up and slapped Trump back. And he says, I don't care if you're my boss or not. You just, honestly, you should not be doing that. You know? And as Mary Trump says, who's Trump's niece, she says her uncle acts like a little child, and he's never really learned to grow up, and he was never really taught properly. Her said her dad turned out a lot better than his brother. Okay. And her grandfather was more of he was sort of like his son. Okay. Then of course her grandmother, Trump's mother, she had some personality issues. Okay, I think it was due to gaslighting and all the psychological stuff that her husband been doing to her, which is wrong, but it happened. Um, so anyway, okay, on to other things here. Now let's see. Okay, we talked about Trump dropping lawsuit against Michael Cohen, and as I said, I would like to see Michael Cohen sue the crap out of him. I really do. Um, and Trump tried putting an emotion in to have. Oh yeah, no kidding. Um, and Trump doesn't seem to understand it or get it. Okay. Uh, as Michael Cohen said, Trump is a very dumb guy. He's not very smart. Okay. You explain something to him and he looks at you like he doesn't know what you're talking about. Well, you know. Uh, so who knows, maybe by spring, once the trials start and he's found guilty on all 91 counts, which I'm pretty sure he will be, he's going to find himself in prison for life. Okay? And also, they have found out that Trump had been giving away nuclear submarine secrets to Australia, and I'm surprised hadn't gone further to like North Korea or Russia. Okay, right now Russia's so busy fighting the Ukraine war, which they should have not started in the first place. Um, North that thing that North Korea shouldn't have either. Okay, North Korea is a hermit nation. I feel sorry for the people themselves. I really do. They should not be treated that way ever. No leader should not be allowed to treat their people miserably. Okay, and I wish the people of North Korea would just rise up and just give Un the boot. Okay, and start over. And you just don't lie to people. Okay, you don't shelter them. You don't lie to them. That's wrong. And in some ways, I wish people would stand up to Un and tell him, you know what you're doing is wrong. Downright wrong. You don't sit there and starve them, and you don't sit there and somebody you don't like, you try to take them out and everything else. No. That's going to stop. Okay? That's why I really dislike bullies, and that's why I really dislike dictators. Um, Look what happened to dictators through history. And as I said before, uh, the guy after the Soviet, many of you remember when the Soviet Union collapsed in 1989. Remember that? Um, Yugoslavia still had it. The one guy was still a dictator, the so-called president of Yugoslavia. He was a dictator, but he still kept with the communist ideology and everything. Well, people finally had enough of him, and they went after him, and even his own military turned on him because they were sick and tired of him running roughshod and second guessing and everything else. And they went after him and they did him in. Okay, that's happened before. And after World War II, that's what happened to Mussolini. He was killed by his own people because they were sick and tired of being walked all over. As I've always said, people will withstand so much, can only take so much for so long, that they will snap and they will go after the person who's causing the issues, the person at the top. Now, The only difference is President Biden. President Biden works for the people in the United States. Okay? He works for everybody. He works for you. He works for me. He's trying to make things better for everybody. But when you have people like the MAGA saying they're wanting to screw things up, and I know they don't care about all this and care about democracy. If they don't care about democracy, they should be rounded up and shipped to North Korea and see what happens. They need a very heavy dose of reality. They really do. So anyway, what time is it? Oh, it's 1:30 already. Wow, time flies when you're having fun. Okay, let me check my calendar. Okay, I'll see you later, Nancy. I'll keep you posted on my new store, okay? Those of you who came in late, I shut down my Ginger store and more on Shopify. I'm working on Ginger's headline store. I'm doing things in a smaller scale. Let's see. Let me check my calendar. Okay, I'm gonna make it kind of tentative. Let you know later. But I have a doctor's appointment on Monday, on the 9th, and it's early in the morning. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. But I have my chat show in the afternoon. Chat show in the afternoon, but I'll keep you posted, and I'll try to be on time. I may have to adjust the time. I don't know how long this appointment is going to take. So, he's going to be checking out my hand, my wrist, see, and my knuckle. So, it's not working very well when I type. Okay, so be sure to insist, persist, and push back. Love you, Ginny. Stay safe, okay? Batten down the hatches. And I will see you guys on Monday. I'll keep you posted. And that was a good chat. And I will post this also on my YouTube channel. So take care. Love you all. Have a wonderful weekend. And I'll see you later. Bye-bye.